Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, Dwight and Sherry are two major characters that had been in both The Walking Dead and in Fear the Walking Dead. They first appeared in The Walking Dead Season 6, and they were a married couple that they were good people, but they kind of had some bad luck and ended up with the wrong crowd. Basically, they ended up being a part of the Saviors, and they were unhappy there, and they tried to get away and steal medicine because they needed medicine to help Sherry's sister. But while they were running away, Sherry's sister ended up getting killed by a walker, and Dwight and Sherry were being hunted down, and they were in a lot of trouble for stealing medicine and running away. But Dwight and Sherry are eventually back at the sanctuary, and Negan wants to kill Dwight as punishment, but Sherry wants to save her husband's life, so she offers to marry Negan in exchange for sparing Dwight's life. And that's not quite good enough, so Negan spares Dwight's life, but he irons his face, and Dwight ends up having this really nasty, big, burnt side of his face. But Dwight and Sherry have sort of had a rocky up and down type of relationship since then. They were still having secret conversations, and you still got the sense that they cared for each other, but obviously their relationship and their marriage was strained because Sherry was now sleeping with Negan. Although she did it for Dwight, she's still sleeping with Negan, and Dwight and Sherry really can't be seen together anymore, and they can't kiss or sleep together or anything like that. But Sherry ends up feeling guilty because she thinks that Dwight has become worse of a man, because there was a little while where after Dwight got his face burnt, where Dwight really did become a dedicated member of the Saviors. He really did believe in Negan's cause. He was a jerk to Daryl and Rosita and everyone. He killed Denise Cloyd. He really tried to prove his loyalty to Negan. He was really, really loyal to Negan for a while, but he still cared about Sherry. That was the big thing about Dwight, was that although he was a mean savior and he had no problem killing people, he still cared about Sherry deep down. And Sherry ended up running away and leaving a letter for Dwight saying that she feels bad, she blames herself for everything, and that Dwight's not the man that she used to know, and that she needs to get away from everything. And this is what sort of breaks Dwight and makes Dwight really upset and angry. So he ends up wanting revenge on Negan. So he goes to Rick's group and he offers to be a double agent that'll help them from the inside. You know, he'll pretend like he's still on Negan's team, but on the inside, he's going to cause problems for Negan and the Saviors that'll help Rick's group and Ezekiel and everyone win the overall war against the Saviors. So Dwight is a double agent during the all-out war storyline, and he ends up surviving, and Negan is locked up, and at first Dwight thinks that he's going to be executed, but they end up letting him live, and Daryl tells him, don't ever come back here, we don't want to see you ever again, but, go out, find Sherry, make things right. And that begins Dwight's journey of looking for Sherry, going all over the place looking for Sherry, and Dwight ends up in Fear the Walking Dead during the 5th season, and he meets June and John, and he and Morgan reunite. They pretty much knew who each other were, although they didn't have a lot of scenes together in The Walking Dead. They knew about each other. They recognized each other. And Dwight is continuing to look for Sherry, but he doesn't find her in Season 5, although he does join Morgan's group and joins Morgan's cause in trying to help people and redeem himself. However, in Season 6, Sherry comes back, and she and Dwight do reunite, and they're happy for a little while, but Sherry is really not the person that she used to be. She is now a member of this group called the Outcasts, and the Outcasts are a group of people that Virginia didn't want with the Pioneers because she didn't think they were helpful enough, and the Outcasts are wanting to kill Virginia. That's their main thing, and Sherry kind of clashes with Dwight and Morgan and everyone because although she's desperate to kill Virginia and she's in a hurry to kill Virginia, she doesn't really want to cooperate with Dwight or Morgan or listen to what they want. Virginia has Morgan's loved ones captured, held captive, and if Sherry and the Outcast try too hard to kill Virginia, it can get their loved ones killed. So there's a bit of a clashing, and Sherry becomes sort of a bit of an antagonist in season 6. Maybe not all the way an antagonist, but she definitely clashes with our main characters a few times. And I really don't like Sherry that much. I liked her in The Walking Dead. I thought she seemed like a good person in The Walking Dead. I thought it was interesting because in the comics, Sherry just kind of seems like a bitch the whole time. She just kind of seems like she didn't really care about Dwight. She just kind of manipulated Dwight, and then she tried to be a full-on villain, and she basically got herself killed, and she just wasn't that good of a person. But in season 6 and 7 of The Walking Dead, she seemed like a good person. She seemed like someone with a good heart. But in Fear the Walking Dead, it seems like we are slowly, more and more getting that comic villain Sherry. We're seeing more of Sherry's dark side of, coming out. We see her being more and more antagonistic and clashing with the good guys and kind of being a villain. And I'm wondering if she will continue to be a villain, because in the comics she ends up pretty much being a villain, and she gets into a fight with Rick, but Rick accidentally causes her death. Sherry pretty much dies on accident. Rick wasn't really trying to kill her, but she dies on accident. And Dwight's really upset about this, although he does forgive Rick and moves on. But that's pretty much the end of Sherry in the comics. And I was starting to think that it wasn't going to be like that in the show, because she seemed different from the comics. And Dwight seemed different from the comics, too. Dwight and Sherry both seemed like they were better people in the show than they were in the comics. Like, they're better people. And for Dwight, I still believe that. I think that Dwight is going to full-on be a good guy. He's redeemed himself a lot lately. He seems like he really does believe in Morgan's cause, and he really does want to do the right thing and redeem himself. But with Sherry, it's not really like that. Sherry kind of seems like she's all about what she believes in, and she's kind of a villain. And I'm getting a little sick of her. Like, she doesn't really want to get back together with Dwight. Like, she's always like, "Oh, Dwight, I don't want to see you again. Oh, Dwight, I don't ever want to see you again." Like, she's told Dwight this like 5 times. Dwight has gone all over the place looking for her. He's fought so hard for her, and Sherry just kind of seems kind of wishy-washy. Like, she doesn't really care that much. She's just like, "Oh, Dwight, I think we should get back together. Oh, Dwight, I don't want you to ever see me again." It just kind of seems like a lot of drama, and like she's just kind of wishy-washy. Like, Dwight is a good man and, a good husband for going through so much trouble and fighting so hard to find her, and she's just like, she's just kind of wishy-washy. I honestly think that, Dwight's too good for her. Like, Dwight deserves someone else. Like, Dwight deserves a woman that really has his back and isn't going to run away from him 5 times and break up with him 5 times. I feel like Dwight deserves a woman that's better than Sherry. Sherry's just kind of wishy-washy. But as far as, will they permanently get back together? Will they get married? Are they still married? I don't know. I guess they're separated or divorced or whatever. They're not together. I don't know. I don't know what you'd want to call it. But, like, are they going to, officially get back together? Are they going to really get back together and get that happy fairy tale ending where they grow old together and they're happy and Sherry stops doing stupid stuff and maybe they have kids or something? I don't know. Right now, I feel like, no. Sherry just keeps drifting away from Dwight. It just seems like Sherry doesn't want Dwight that much. It's like one-sided. Like, Sherry supposedly cares about Dwight a lot. She supposedly loves him, but he keeps fighting so hard for her, and she's just like, well, I don't know. I think we should break up. It's like, lady, make up your mind. I feel like she's kind of stringing Dwight along and dragging him all over the place instead of properly letting him go and properly setting him free. Like, she's not setting him free and allowing him to move on and truly move on and look for another woman. Like, she's just kind of like half holding on to him, half breaking up with him all the time. Like, I don't want to completely break up with you, but I don't really want to get back together, and we should break up, and we should break up, we should get back together. Like, lady, like, make up your mind. It's not fair for Dwight, who's a good person, that to be strung along and dragged all over the place by you because you're not really giving him a definitive answer. You know, you're not really either end the relationship for good 100% or get back together with him for good 100%. Pick one. It's not fair for Dwight to string him along over and over. I feel like that's what she's been doing, and she's just kind of wishy-washy. I liked her in The Walking Dead, but in Fear the Walking Dead, she's becoming more and more like that bitch from the comics that she's just out for herself, and she doesn't really care about her husband's love for her. She just doesn't care. So, yeah, I don't know if they're going to get back together, truly get back together, you know, truly be a happy married couple again and get a happy ending. You know, right now, I feel like Dwight's going to eventually he's just going to have to accept the fact that she just doesn't want him enough. He deserves to be with a woman that wants him back. He deserves to be with a woman that'll actually stay by his side and be good to him. Sherry's just not doing that. Sherry's just kind of wishy-washy and dragging Dwight all over the place. She doesn't really want to commit to a decision one way or the other. And it's not fair for Dwight. Dwight deserves better. Dwight's a good man. So I don't know if she'll get over her shit and truly get back together with Dwight, or if she's going to get killed, if she's going to get her comic death. Right off the top of my head, I would say they're not going to get back together, like truly get back together. I think it's just a lost cause at this point. Like, she won't make up her mind, you know, and it's not fair for Dwight. Dwight should be with someone that actually wants him back. Dwight deserves that. So maybe they'll get a happy ending, but I want to say right now, with the way things are going right now, that she and Dwight are just going to continue to drift apart until maybe she gets her comic death or something. So I don't think that they're going to get a happy ending at this moment. I don't think that Dwight and Sherry are going to get married and have kids. I know in season 6, episode 12, I believe, when Grace was having all those dreams, she saw Dwight and Sherry like happily married and they had kids, but I mean, that was just a dream. I mean, her daughter was a grown adult in the dream, and in real life she died. So I don't know if the dream is the dreams that Grace had are necessarily going to, you know, tell us the future of the show. I don't know if we can really go off of the dreams. So I really don't think that Dwight and Sherry are going to get a happy ending. I think that Sherry's eventually just going to continue to be a bitch until she gets herself killed or becomes a villain or whatever. Whatever she's doing, and Dwight's just going to have to eventually accept the fact that he just needs to let her go. He needs to let her go for himself, for his own sake. Don't let her drag you down with her, Dwight. You know, like, he needs to let her go and move on to someone else. Because right now I feel like Dwight's a good person and Sherry isn't. And I don't know if that's ever going to change. I don't know if Sherry's ever going to be a really good person again and really be loyal to Dwight and really truly want a relationship with Dwight. She's just not acting like it. So I honestly don't think that she and Dwight are going to get a happy ending together. I think that the show has something else in store for those two characters. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 902 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 1,000 in the next few weeks. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters, and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we can get to that goal of 1,000. Anyway, with all that said, I'm Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.